Hey, Christy Mattoon here with Rewire. I'm so glad to be with you. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, click the little thing and subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. If you want notifications for when I go live, which isn't very often, but when I do, if you want those, click the bell for that because sometimes those can be pretty random and fun. What I'm talking about today is something I was talking about in a class with a group of people the other day that was just super interesting to me, because we talk all the time and you hear this all the time about how your thoughts create reality. Your thoughts create reality. And so if that were true, like every thought that you think would be happening around you, right? So the concept itself is wrong. The idea that every thought you think creates something in your life is pretty incorrect. That by itself doesn't work. It's not how your system works. Every thought that you think that is linked to an emotion creates reality. Every thought that you have, every plan, every idea, everything that you keep sifting back through from the past that keeps repeating itself does so because it's linked to an emotion. It's linked to a feeling, and that's what gives it life. The thought itself doesn't give it life. The feeling you have is what gives it life, right? Does this make sense? Are you hearing what I'm saying? The reason why this is so important is there's so many people out there teaching to be careful what you think. Every thought you think is going to turn into reality, and you're going to create something only if you've got an emotion attached to it. Every thought you think is actually a possibility, right? Every thought that you think, you're literally merely simulating possibilities. And there are tons of possibility. If you think you have to be on one certain path or stuck in a certain track, that's part of the reason you feel stuck, is because you're gluing yourself into this one thing, and it might not be one thing. It might be a step, and it might get you in the right direction. And then the field of possibilities could open back up because you'll sit there and think for a second. And if you add feeling to it, that's when it gets exciting, and that's when all of a sudden you take that next step and you move into that realm of whatever it is you're wanting to do. Does that make sense? Does that help? So all humans have this innate capacity to imagine your reality. We can sit there and think about it further. We did this great when we were children. You hear this all the time from gurus. When we were kids, we would sit there pretending to be the cowboy, pretending to be an astronaut, oddly pretending to be a truck driver. All the things that you thought you wanted to do when you grew up. And in your imagination, if you were good enough at it, you would add that feeling to it. Now, if you came out of a place of a ton of trauma like I did, and most of your feeling was based in fear, was based in fight and flight, was coming from cortisol and adrenaline, everything that I would think about, I was attaching fight and flight to, because it's what I knew. It's what I knew how to do. Here's where the realm of thinking can get really interesting. If you keep thinking and attaching negative thought, negative vibration to whatever it is you're thinking about, you're going to have a rough road. I'm proof. I am proof. I did it. Me at 300 pounds, full of illness, autoimmune issues, all kinds of stuff. How did I turn it around? I did all kinds of stuff. I did all kinds of things. It wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just energy. And at the end of the day, it was just energy, because it all is. But it wasn't just an energy modality. It wasn't just working out. It wasn't just diet changes. It was all of it. It was a lot of spiritual work, and it was everything kind of as it started. I started with exercise, went into understanding nutrition, and then it just kind of snowballed and rolled from there and got better and better. But it takes a little bit of everything. The thought patterns themselves had to change. I had to quit telling myself, I hate you, which was what my predominant thought was, and then keep attaching all of the negative vibrational components to it, right? The feelings. I didn't even know I was doing it. That's the subconscious stuff, which leads me to what we were talking about yesterday. Let's take a look over here for a second. Let me see if you can see this. So this is what I was talking about with the class of folks yesterday. And one of the things that we were looking at was this iceberg concept. Have you seen this before? The concept of the iceberg is that, and this part isn't a concept, it's just where they put it on this board, the 5% of your daily thinking is conscious. 5 to 10% of your daily thinking is conscious stuff that you're actively a part of and thinking about. They consider that the top of the iceberg. So like here's the water line, here's the bottom of the iceberg. So 90 to 95% of your thinking daily is subconscious programming. That makes perfect sense. Here's where this causes a problem. Here's how we think about it. Above the water, I can get to this easily. Below the water, the iceberg concept makes this really scary and hard. How do I get to my subconscious thinking, to my programming, if it's freaking below the level of the water iceberg form? And I'm scared of water, like I don't even know, right? If I'm using this as an example, right? I did have fear of water, and I'm thinking about this going, this is impossible. How would you ever get to your subconscious programming? So I think that this is a horrible model. It is a horrible way to talk about the subconscious mind. It's horrible because it leads you to think, because every time somebody says, oh, it's below the level, it's hard to get to, my brain goes looking for that information. What does it mean it's hard to get to? It means you can't get to it. You're going to be stuck trying to figure this out and find it. Here's the truth. The truth is your thoughts create more thoughts. This is what we were talking about yesterday. Your thoughts create more thoughts, but your thoughts and feeling create reality. They create matter, your thoughts plus feeling, right? So you can create, even with subconscious junk going on, you can create your matter, you can create your reality if you get the feeling right. Even if this is down here, it's not hard to get to. If you want to go in there and get rid of it, I can show you how to do that too. But if you get your vibrational level right, you raise your vibration and you start creating in your mind and you're focusing, putting all of your energy towards that thing that you're working on, towards the thing you want to see in your life, guess what? This doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Isn't that interesting? The vibration is what creates the reality, not the thought. The thing that happened to you as a child is a thing that happened to you as a child. Do we need to go into all the organs and all the different places and pull out all the emotion that's sitting there, all those neuropeptides that got left laying around? Or can you just simply raise your vibration high enough that it cancels it all out? What do you think? Because I've done it both ways. I've played with this a ton, and I've done it both ways. I have had people, years of people, going into my system and saying, oh, let's take out anger. Let's take out deep, deep sadness, deep, deep sadness. Yes, there was deep, deep sadness. There was anger. But when they were done, guess what was still there? Another level of deep, deep sadness and another level of anger. And it wasn't in my kidney anymore. Now it's in my brain. Now it's in my arm. Now it's in my knee. It's all... Would somebody just say, raise your vibration, think in a higher vibrational pattern, think of something amazing that you want to create, and then let's build a feeling to it. And then let's build a feeling to it. Or let's build the feeling first and turn it into your natural go-to. So that you go to that feeling, let's implant that down here into your subconscious mind. So every time something happens, your body gives you a great set of chemicals to work off of instead of stress and fight and flight. How would that work in your system? Wow. It's what Mind Rewire does. That's what I'm trying to teach people how to do. This got me really hyped up yesterday, as you can tell, and I'm still hyped up about it. I got to get off. I'm about to go on, I forget what, oh, good Lord, I can't remember. I will post that too, though. It's going to be a podcast. With somebody here in about 20 minutes. So I'll post that too. I'll get that video link and put it up here for you. Here's the deal. This whole concept of subconscious iceberg thing, quit listening to it. Quit posting it. Quit looking at it. It's not helping anybody. It's making it seem like it's impossible, and it's not impossible. I bless you on this journey. I hope this helps. Comment below, and we will see you again